What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Steel City Live. I'm back again. I'm in a little bit of a makeshift place here again. But hey, man, we're moving. I'm in our game room here. But we are in the new house. So that's one positive thing. We're talking a little Steelers today as we kick off, getting back in the groove of things here on Mike Drop Sports in the live stream, Steel City Live. What's up, Robert Road? Robert makes an excellent comment here to kick off our show, guys. Robert says, we all knew the extension was coming. I am good with this, considering the extension is the same length as Arthur Smith's contract. Our Steelers have the roster to kick some serious ass. So, yeah, good comment there, Robert, no doubt. Sorry if it's echoing. I haven't filled up the downstairs here just yet. Everything's kind of in the garage. So I did get our living areas all done, but the game room isn't done yet. I got like an arcade game down here. But I was doing some work. Like I have everything on our wet bar down here. So I was putting knobs on the wet bar and all that kind of stuff. So I was doing some tidying up things that I needed to do in order to start doing things down here. And the move's going well. So again, we're back, man, and we're rolling. And now there shouldn't be too many more interruptions. So that'll be a good thing for all of us, myself included. TD, what's up, man? Yeah, Steelers family, no doubt. What's up, guys? No doubt. Oh, sorry. I was just trying to adjust this a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, I even used a little bit of a box here. It's actually a bounce box to bring my mic up because I'm still trying to find my mic arm and all that. I'll have to take you guys on a tour of my man room over there, but that'll come because I think that's where I'm going to put my studio because I want this to be like a movie theater down here. So, yeah, we'll probably do that. I also have a bonus room upstairs that I don't know. There's a couple places. I want to find the best place that has the best sound, those things. Because I don't want to have to go out and buy a bunch of like soundproof shit, like to soundproof the walls and stuff like that. I don't feel like doing any major construction onto a house that I just bought. So definitely, I just want to set it up nice, bright, Steelers stuff everywhere. That's what I want, man. NFL things, just that kind of stuff. What's up, Connor? Uber excited for the Tomlin extension, especially when you have people like Queen taking less money to play for Coach T. Yeah, we're going to talk about this extension, guys, and it comes at the heels of a lot of different things. We all knew Mike Tomlin was getting extended. You're not going to bring in offensive coordinators. You're not going to bring in new coaches in general to sit underneath a lame duck head coach. That's not good business. That's not good business practice if you're trying to recruit coaches in the future. Coaches don't want to come into that type of situation. If you're coming in to work underneath somebody, especially a head coach like Mike Tomlin that's been tenured for a long time, you want some sort of stability. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are the epitome of stability. They are definitely a world-class organization in that aspect, in terms of loyalty, in terms of the ways that they handle their business, keeping coaches, extending coaches, keeping that continuity inside of that building. And that's one thing that the Pittsburgh Steelers do here with the extension of Mike Tomlin, signing Mike through the 2027 season. So that's pretty big. You're getting 3 years. That's the same as Arthur Smith. So you're looking at that, and you look at how that marriage now will be going down the road here. You got your defensive coordinator and Terrell Austin in place. You got your head coach. You got your GM. You got your offensive coordinator. You got another guy in the building in Andy Weidel. You got a definite team of people that having them together gives your franchise, your organization, a leg up and a definite kickoff on the real positive foot. And I know that there seems to be some issues still, and we're going to talk about them but this isn't as bad as we all think. But the Steelers, I think, after having today to think about it during my morning upload, I talked about how the Pittsburgh Steelers, are they planning now for now? Are they planning to go all in? Are they planning for the long term future of this franchise? What are they doing here with this whole game plan that we see unfolding before our eyes? And I gotta say, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have set themselves up in a real nice way here for the long term and for the short term. Because the Pittsburgh Steelers, if things don't work out, they have the opportunity to completely flip this offense in a big way. And you have a defense that is pretty well set in stone and that is in a pretty good predicament, a pretty good spot right now. So I think that there's a lot to be happy for if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I think there's a lot to be said for what the Pittsburgh Steelers have been able to accomplish this offseason. And I know every move hasn't been made in the way that the fan base wants it to be. And I know some say the Steelers are cheap. Some say many other things about the Pittsburgh Steelers and the way they conduct business. But you've got to remember that the Pittsburgh Steelers are stable and they are doing the right things here in order to get this long-term success of this franchise for the distant future here. For the next 3-4 years, I could see this team having the chance to really truly succeed. What's up, Danny George? What's up, Cutthroat? What's up, Beer Malls? What's up, Everett Kirkland? What's up? Let me read some comments here. Happy for Mike Tomlin. A nice recess lighting, nice room. Thanks, Beer Malls. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, this house is nice. I like it, man. It was one of the ones. Actually, guys, I think this house was on the market for like one day, like 8 hours before we decided we wanted this one. And then we waited 90 some days to get it. So the people we bought it from were really cool, really nice. So it all worked out good. So, yeah. Got a lot, though, going on. You got security system people coming tomorrow. You got other people that have already been here, cable, internet, blah, blah, blah. So thank God I didn't really have to do anything over the weekend in terms of live streaming and things like that, because I was supposed to be able to do a home setup. And of course, that didn't work out the way it should have. And the people that had owned the house before us had the same exact system that I'm putting in. But it was a very beneficial meeting with the cable guy, because I found out some things that I'm going to be able to do with this house that it's pretty much already made up in a way that I can completely modernize it to where it's already pretty modern, but I'm just saying modernize it in terms of hardware and the ability to be able to plug in all of my things that I'm using for live streaming to be able to bring you guys content, things of that nature, to be at a super high speed because it'll all be hardwired into like a mesh network type thing. So yeah, it'll be pretty cool. Danny George, where's the Steelers cave going to be? I don't know, Danny. I'm trying to figure it out, man. I'm trying to figure it out. There's a few places that I can do it, and I've been thinking about this for 90 days, man. But now that I'm in the house, it's a little bit different, because now I can actually see things, measure things out, and I want to be away. Not to say this in a bad way. I want to be away from where the family and the activities are going on, because just to be quiet and have things like that, to where you're not getting loud bangs and shit inside of your live streams. All right, guys, let's make sure we're hitting that like button for us here on the return of Steel City Live. Sorry we missed Friday, but there was just no way after we closed on the house, after we got over here, after I had to get everything rolling. We were in that Airbnb, and I had to come in here, and I had to go to our storage units. I had to get our beds. I had to do all of that stuff in order for us to be able to stay in the first night at our house. So I did that, man. I hustled everybody out of bed. Everybody had their shit set up. So yeah, I did that all on my lonesome, and it was definitely a challenge. But man, I'm stubborn in that way. I won't pay movers. I won't rent U-Hauls. I literally just take my trailer, take my little SUV, and I go hard on my own, man. It probably hurts me, but oh well, it is what it is. Beer Malls, I tell you what, Tomlin, this is your expiration date. Bottom line, I'm not giving him any more excuses. I know, guys, at Beer Malls, I get it, and I got to say, too, and I think that this is one of those things that we have to look at with Mike Tomlin. that this is something that the Pittsburgh Steelers have given him a good chance here and an excellent chance for success. They've set him up in a real good way. If the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't starting to be really successful in terms of playoff victories, in terms of having really good, regular seasons and really being competitive. Now, I'm not saying you have to have some, 14-3 record or some dumb shit. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you have to be competitive inside of the NFL and really show your worth and really be one of those teams that aren't backing their way into the playoffs. Not a team that needs help on that, week before Wild Card Sunday to where, you got all the bullshit. You're watching all this score, that score, that score. No. Mike Tomlin's really going to have to, in the next 3 years. And I think that we all got to be patient here too, because there's a lot of young people. There's an offense in place currently that could really be flipped at any time, considering what they have in place in terms of contracts. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, if this doesn't work and they're not going to see any results out of it, you could see in 2025, guys, a different offense yet again. Another offense that is completely redone and blown up. And I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers were really wise the more that I think about it and the more that I look at this in what they have done and the way they have structured bringing these players in and getting these guys ready to go in terms of, hey, you're on a 1-year deal, prove this shit, let's do it. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think, are going to be in a position to pay them. They will be in the top 4 in terms of available salary cap space in 2025. So the Pittsburgh Steelers know that. And that is why another reason I'm starting to lean towards maybe not a possible or not a big name wide receiver coming via trade. Because I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are really valuing that flexibility for 2025 to where they're going to be able to do enormous deals if they want to. They're going to be able to make trades and make moves and do things that will definitely change the face of the roster yet again. And I don't think they're really going to have a lot of problems because they've prepared this defense, I think, to be successful for the next 2-3 years here under Mike Tomlin. So I think you have that part secured. Then you look at the offensive side of the football, and I think that you're going to have the opportunity to be able to flip it if you need to. And I keep saying that that's a positive thing. I hear somebody up at the top of the stairs trying to be a jackwagon. It must be one of my kids, probably Jackson. Now let's get that wide receiver. Everett, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm starting to lean toward maybe not. And it's just because I'm looking at this broad picture, I'm looking at the way that this thing could really... It's hard to say it because I understand what you're saying, Everett, and I definitely am on board with it too because I would love to see another wide receiver here, another big target. I would love to see it, but I don't know if it's going to happen anymore. I don't know, and I don't know if the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to prioritize it. Now, if the right deal falls into their lap, boom, I think they pull the trigger. But I just don't think that they go out there and overextend themselves in any way. And I don't think that they really like giving up the draft capital, especially with the way the last couple drafts, I think, have unfolded. We'll see how this one goes, and we'll see how these rookies are able to contribute early, if they're able to contribute early or not. And I think that would be a telltale sign of what they want to do, They're making good picks. And I think that they have high hopes for Roman Wilson. I understand that he has some limitations in his game. I think they have high hopes for Calvin Austin to take a jump. And I really think that they have high hopes in Van Jefferson. And I think that they're hoping one of those other guys that they brought in that are just, hope and a prayer type guys, that maybe one of them starts to really emerge, gets that second chance, guys, And that's what I think they're really looking at, because you never know who's going to be that next best thing. You never know who's going to have that big breakout year. Is it George Pickens? Because he hasn't had that breakout year yet. We see the potential. We see what he is going to be able to do athletically, in terms of his catch radius, many things like that. But we've yet to see him have that breakout year. And is that because of the quarterback play? Is that because of the offense? There's a lot of factors involved in that. So you need to see George Pickens inside of an offense that he is featured, whether or not you're going to want to pay him the bag, there's a lot going on, a lot going on. Let's get back to some more of these comments. Make sure you're hitting that like button for us here on Steel City Live, our daily live stream every day at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Forgive me if anybody has sent emails to the Mic Drop Sports Yahoo email page or, account. I'll get to them. I always try to reply, so forgive me if I haven't got back to you. Connor, I agree. He better put another trophy in the case these next 3 years. I think there's a potential, Connor, no doubt. Cutthroat says the salary cap is a weapon. KC currently is using a weapon against the league. We need to wake up before critiquing the team. Definitely the salary cap is a weapon, and there's a million ways to manipulate it. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I know, because I'm not going to tell you guys that I know every in and out of the salary cap. And there are very few people out there that do. They'd probably be getting paid by some NFL team if they did. But it's definitely very complex, and there are many ways to be able to manipulate it. And John is right. Cutthroat, he is right. It is a weapon, and you need to utilize it, and you need to take advantage of it. And I think Omar Khan is well versed in what he is going to be able to do. And I think that you see the Pittsburgh Steelers using it right now to their advantage. Because what are they doing, guys? They are gaining a collection of players that I think that they feel truly comfortable in putting out there in 2024. I think they really are comfortable in the direction that this team is starting to move, but yet they are setting themselves up for a 2025 offseason in which they are going to be so financially secure in terms of having the ability to sign anybody they really want. And that is going to be big, man, because you're going to have to sign a quarterback. You're going to have to figure that out. Who knows? Maybe Justin Fields, guys. And I don't think he'll start right off the bat, and I don't think Russ gives that crown up right away, and I think I'd look for Russ to have a big year. But if something were to happen to Russ, something would, get Justin onto the field, and Justin per se, goes out there and just balls the hell out and really puts up jaw-dropping statistics, really jaw-dropping performances, really leads this team in a big way. And you look at how maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers, before that happens, maybe they're able to ink Justin to a really team-friendly deal for the next couple of years. Could you imagine a world where your Pittsburgh Steelers were already going to be in the top 4 of available cap space in the 2025 season, to ink a guy that could potentially be your long-term answer at quarterback for a couple seasons at a really reasonable rate, a rate in which you are still able to be very flexible at bringing weapons in around him? Do you imagine what that could mean for a football team? That is the potential to, get on a real roll. And I'm not saying a dynasty or anything, because that would be very premature and stupid of me to say. I'm saying that it could set up a team for success, and that it could really mean good things and really give a team a chance to be ultra successful moving forward. What's up, Trippy Hippie? Cutthroat, pay cuts, not payouts. Beer malls, all teams will have a hard time against KC. The playing field isn't equal. They got some shit. Oh, yeah, that was John talking to him. D, dang, brother, that house is huge. It's pretty big, man. I like it. It's very nice. Thank you, D. I appreciate you. Craig Werlow, I bet you have still a lot to do for more than I want to admit, Craig. More than I want to admit. Welcome, man. I appreciate seeing you, buddy. D, apparently I need to get into the respiratory industry. Oh, I ain't got nothing, D. I'm broke as a joke. This is debt. Cutthroat. Mahomes' announcement that he is restructuring his contract again this year. Think about that when the other quarterbacks continue taking more, not less. You saw Tom Brady, guys, and the reason Tom Brady was able to be ultra successful is because Tom Brady realized what? Having the right personnel around you makes you successful. And Tom Brady did realize that, because you saw Tom Brady, when he went to the negotiation table, he didn't take what he could have got. Tom Brady could have broke the damn bank, dude, especially later in his career, after he had a collection of Lombardi trophies, a collection of rings on his finger. He could have wrote his check, whatever he wanted. But yet he was smart enough to realize that what gives you success as a quarterback is what is around you. Yes, you can be good. Yes, you can be a guy that can carry the team during stretches of the year. But nobody can carry it all the time. You have to have quality guys around you. And Tom Brady realized that. And you see Patrick Mahomes doing what, guys? Realizing that. And you see where it gets Patrick Mahomes. That is to what? Super Bowls, championships. And that's where you make your money. Endorsements, outside businesses, that are afforded to you by being considered the best in the world, by being on a championship football team that is doing big things, that is always in the news, get you deals in terms of, going out there doing commercials, things of that nature. You are getting so many opportunities and doors opened for you by being a success story on the field, that the money that you may have missed out on in your contract by not taking a maximum amount of money that you make up for it and then some. And some of these guys are smart enough to realize that. Others aren't. You look at some of these guys that get paid $50-60 million a year, and all they can think about is wanting more. And you're not always successful that way. All right, guys, let's make sure we're hitting the like button. I'm going to get a drink. We've been on the live stream here for about 21 minutes, which is awesome. Good to be back here on Steel City Live after a 3-day break. But here we are on our daily live stream, only on Mic Drop Sports. I'm Jason. The studio will change, but we've been on the run here for the last month, and we've been adapting and overcoming. And hell with it, man. We get it done every day. Let me get a drink. Craig Warlow for Tomlin. Doesn't matter about regular wins. Oh, it means regular season wins. It's all about the playoffs. Yeah, and I gotta say, I dropped my cap, guys. Hold on, I gotta get my water bottle cap, because I have too many electronics, and I don't want to get shit wet by spilling my water. But anyway, guys, yeah, Tomlin, guys. Yes, we get the regular season win, no losing seasons, blah, blah, blah. We get that. But I think Craig's exactly right. And where Tomlin is really going to be measured here in the latter part of his career is what he can do in terms of postseason play. And I think getting there is important. You got to be able to do that first. You got to take care of the first step of business here. And I think he's been able to, hold bad teams together. I think that. But I think he's had some decent teams that maybe didn't live up to their potential due to some things that I think could have been changed. Now, Mike Tomlin, guys, he's a damn good coach because he's a people coach, or a people's coach, a player's coach, a coach that is loved by the players. So, yes, that gives him a leg up on everybody. But you look at this extension for Mike Tomlin, and you look at what the Pittsburgh Steelers have done in the offseason, and they have basically said to Mike Tomlin, here is your golden goose, man. Here's your golden ticket. This is what is going to be able to jumpstart you into the possibility of having a final part of your career that is absolutely amazing. We're giving you the opportunity to come in here and really shine for a big portion here for, 3 to 5 years. I think you could really open the window of this football team up, especially with the amount of money they're going to be able to have at their disposal in 2025. And the way they've been able to draft, I think that that's playing a key role. And I think that you have a coach like Mike Tomlin that is really, really good with the young players. The young guys are really responsive to him. I think that things are changing. And I think when you had teams that had a lot of veterans on them, I think maybe the message did get a little bit stale, but now I think you've got a good mix. I think you've got some solid leaders that know what it's like to play Steeler football. TJ Watt, Cameron Hayward, Najee Harris, guys like that, and I think that you're going to see a lot of that Steeler way. The fans like to say it. We all like to say that Steeler way. I think you're going to see the Steelers get back to that brand of smash mouth football. I think you're going to see them get back to a brand of football that is a winning brand of football, a brand of football to where we could be excited as a fan base. And I think, you have those lapses for, 5, 6, 7 years to where, you're like, damn, man. we just haven't been able to get over the hump. We haven't been able to get there. But I think you're about to see the Pittsburgh Steelers, grab a playoff win and see what happens after that and see where this thing takes us. Because all you need, guys, an old poker saying, is a chip in a chair, baby. That's all you need, and you can make something happen. Beermo says they have set him up. I think Tomlin is a good coach. I'm just pointing the finger at him, or it's the owners or the players. Guys, when you are the head man, Beermalls brings up a good point here. When you're the head man, you're responsible for everything. And what happens, man? You got to answer the questions. You're going to get shit on in the media. And I get it, man. People are going to be Mike Tomlin apologists. That's okay. That's okay. But Mike Tomlin understands this better than maybe a lot of the fan base. And I'll say this. A lot of the fan base don't understand that Mike Tomlin knows himself that he is going to take the heat when things aren't going well, because he is man enough to do that, and he expects that. And I think he is well aware that when things go south, that he is ultimately responsible. No matter what, he is responsible, because why? He is the guy in charge. And it's no different for anybody else. It's no different for an Andy Reid. It's no different for a Bill Belichick. As you saw what transpired in New England, they've cut ties whenever he wasn't doing really well. And it fell on Bill's shoulders, a guy that's won many Super Bowls. They weren't afraid to cut him loose. They weren't afraid to lay the blame at Bill's feet. And Mike Tomlin is not immune to that. And I think the fan base needs to understand that people aren't out there picking on Mike Tomlin or choosing just to talk shit about Mike Tomlin. No, when things go wrong, they look at the head man and they say what they got to say. They point out the problems. And when you're the head guy, you got to own up to it, man. Mahomes is on the Brady plan, move around money for more chips. Yeah, no doubt, baby. That's it. Sleeping lady, what's up? Glad we extended Coach Tomlin. Players talk so highly of him. I'm proud we have such a rich coaching history, and consistency is good for the team. I agree with Sleeping lady here, guys. And I know sometimes, yeah, the coach isn't going to be what you want, but we are the fan base. We are people out here that talk, Steelers, that have podcasts that point out errors. And I'm going to point out when shit ain't going right. But I will say this, exactly what Sleeping Lady said. Having consistency at the coaching position, having consistency as a franchise is the difference between 6 championships and 1 or 2 or none. That is the difference between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is the difference between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the LA Raiders. Consistency, stability, that is the key. And that is exactly it. And you guys, you people out there that are fans of the Pittsburgh Steelers, part of this Steelers nation, be proud of that, man. Be proud that we have had, in the last 60-some years, 3 really good men. We can all come to grips with that and admit that. We've had 3 really good men at the helm of this franchise that have, 1, been high character guys, 2, been very, very good with their players, and have been able to have success throughout their careers. And 3, they are very consistent, stable type guys. And you don't find that very often. You don't find the loyalty that you find in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization everywhere in professional sports. It just doesn't happen. And there's very few places that it does happen. Very few. Very few. All right, guys, let's make sure we're hitting that like button for me here on Steel City Live, our daily live stream here at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day, only here on Mike Drop Sports. Make sure you're hitting that like button. We really, really appreciate it. So make sure you're crushing that shit. We got to get those likes up. We are back after a 3-day break. Forgive me. Been very busy moving, but things are starting to cool down. We're going to get the studio built. I haven't quite started it. I do have the materials, because I tore down my old one. So I have some of the materials. I have a lot of things going on, but I didn't forget our giveaway will be happening on the 14th of June, and that is for Mic Drop Mafia members. That'll be this Friday, so make sure you're tuned into that. That'll happen. We'll make it around 7 o'clock on the night of the live stream on Friday night. That way, it'll give people time to join in. But you have to be a part of the Mic Drop Mafia membership program, and that is 99 cents a month. It gets you the emojis, gets you the loyalty badges, and most importantly, can win you some prizes. So get yourself involved in that and become part of the Mic Drop Mafia. And also, guys, if you're not already, hit subscribe. We are cruising, man, to our subscriber goal. Let's continue to get there. It slowed down over the weekend because I wasn't uploading, but let's get back up there and share the content and really push things out there to grow our community. Robert Road, I would love to see an extension for Andy Weidel. I know he was and will be a GM candidate, but I hope they pay him enough to keep him home in Mount Lebanon. Robert, that is an excellent thing that I don't think many Steeler fans really realize how important of a piece Andy Weidel has been and how instrumental he has been in his 2 off seasons now with the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of player acquisition through the draft. How important of a ball player, or how important of a role he is playing inside of that thought process, that system, that ability to get these quality players that we all rave about. It isn't the con artist all the time, guys. I'm sure Omar has something to do with it, but a lot of that is the Weidel. I don't know what you want to call Andy Weidel, but if you even hear Omar Khan talk, who does he give credit to, guys? And that is Andy Weidel, because he says what about the draft? That's Andy's baby. That's what he says about the draft. Omar's words, not Jason's words, Omar's words. But having what you said, Robert, keeping him, I'm not sure what that would take. I'm not sure if it's all even about the money per se, Robert, because I think it's more about opportunity. Are the Steelers striving to win championships? Maybe that intrigues Andy to stay. Are the Pittsburgh Steelers, doing big things like that? That I think is going to play a role. Being home, yes, that may help. But I think opportunity is going to be a big one. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers are progressing nicely, maybe he tries to stay just to be a part of that. And you're right, money might come into it, but being a true general manager per se may be appealing to him to go build his own team, to be in charge of his own squad. But you never know. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been an organization to where really they didn't have a general manager for a long time until Kevin Colbert. They had like vice president of player operations, weird shit like that. They named it something different. So, maybe they can employ Andy for a long time. Maybe he does want to stay. But I think it's all going to come down to, how is this team going? How's it building? How does it look? And does Andy have the opportunity to really go out there and build his own team? And does he really want to? Does he want to uproot his family? How old are his kids? That's a big thing too. People don't realize, especially in coaching, front office staff guys, general manager, things of that nature. A lot of these guys, may tend to stay when you think they might be leaving because they have a kid that's in 10th grade. To where they don't want to rip them out of their high school for their last 3 years. They'd just rather stay put, take the money they're getting. They're comfortable. They're used to it. And their kid can finish high school, where they started high school. So those things all come into play. It's going to be interesting to see, though. But Robert Rowe brings up an excellent point with Andy Weidel. Jonathan Stevens, what's up? We are set at wide receiver. If Calvin Austin takes that next step, people don't believe in him, but I do. I don't think it's, Jonathan, I don't think it's more that people don't believe in him as, is he going to get the opportunity? That's where I'm at. I do hear a lot of people not believing in him all. You're definitely right. There's many haters out there about Calvin Austin. It's not that I don't think he has the ability. think there is some deficiencies in his game, which you all can see too. But I think where Calvin Austin is he going to be able to get those opportunities in order to succeed? Is he going to get the reps? Is he going to get the snaps? That's the real thing we got to see, man. And is he going to be able to get to showcase his talent enough to really prove to Arthur Smith, to really prove to Mike Tomlin that he can be that number 3, that number 2 guy if need be, and really step up into his NFL role? But I believe in him. I'm curious to see how this situation plays out, Jonathan, for him in the 2024 Steelers. Definitely really curious. Cutthroat, Big John says, I guess my point isn't getting through. The salary cap was for NFL parity, but Mahomes following the Brady model throws that out the window. The best QB is willing to take less to win more. No chance. Yeah, no, your point's very loud and clear with me. I don't know, maybe you're talking to somebody in the chat, Cutthroat. Your point is very loud and clear to me, and that's exactly what I'm saying too. When you take less money, that gives you the players to be able to put around you to be successful, and I think that that's exactly what good quarterbacks do. They follow that model that gives you a chance to succeed in other areas, and I definitely think that that is definitely the big thing. Craig Werlow, hope we can be good, but sometimes hope can be destructive, especially. Okay. Hope can be good, but sometimes hope can be destructive, especially with these wide receivers. Yeah, when you're putting a lot of hope into people, yes, you're hoping. It's just what the word means, hope. You're reaching out there on a prayer sometimes because you're not sure. You're going out into that unknown because you're just really trying to see what these guys got. Are you going to be able to hit that untapped potential? Or are you going to be able to get one of these guys in the building that may have been struggling for the past couple years after an injury or something that's going to come back and really hit their stride as an NFL player, or really come back and be something that nobody thought they could be? But definitely hope can kill you, man. But hope can also provide big things. Beer Malls, I think Calvin is a slot receiver. The slot guy makes the middle of the field catch, gets that yards after catch, and CA gets that yak yards. Yeah, I think he could do it, but I'm just curious of what wide receivers and what specifically the slot wide receiver, what their role is going to be inside of this Arthur Smith offense in terms of blocking assignments and things of that nature, and how that all unfolds. Is he going to have a deficiency in size? Is he going to be able to get down the field and be able to provide those blocks? Would he get run over by defenders? Those types of things. I need to see how that's all set up. I'm not saying that he can't, but I just am curious how that all does unfold. Everett Kirkland, the rookies is ready. They nasty and willing to get dirty. I think they came to work, guys. And I keep telling you, the one to watch, the one I'm really, truly excited is about Peyton Wilson. And I want you guys to really watch when Peyton Wilson and a guy like Nick Herbig, with the speed that they can provide on that defensive side of the football, when they're on that field together, I look for some real special things to transpire. Definitely so. All right. Sleeping Lady, click the like, people. Yeah, let's get them likes up. Come on, it's free. Let's get those likes up. Let's hit that like button for us here on Steel City Live. I truly appreciate it. TJ, hello from the Great White North Canada. What's up? Is it still snowing up there, TJ? Yes, sir. Cutthroat. Everett Kirkland. If Omar said we should have a good wide receiver by trading day, it will happen. He's never openly admitted that they would do that. He didn't. Yeah, that wasn't something that he had said, but at least that I didn't hear. If you can send me something that I can hear what he said, because I never heard him say that. Omar tends not to give away his cards. He's not showing his hand. So Maybe I missed one of his interviews or something. But Omar isn't going to say, yeah, we will have a guy. We will make a trade, because I don't remember him ever saying that, because I think that would have been monster news. Maybe I'm misunderstanding you. Cutthroat, Mahomes will take the league minimum for 8. He will make so much more later. Yeah, he could, no doubt. D, I agree, Beer Malls. He's talking to Beer Malls. Beer Malls Mafia, trust me, I'm going to be rooting for and saying, let's fucking go, Tomlin. Just my tolerance is going down. I love the Steelers. Yeah, guys. And that's where I was saying, we can point out the deficiencies. It's okay. Mike Tomlin is allowed to make mistakes, guys. It's definitely okay. Let me move this down. That might be better. Yeah, I can see it a lot better. Awesome. John, how much was the Brady commentator contract? Like $100 and some million. It was like one of the biggest ones ever. Might even have been more than that, but I know it's monster. D, put a big slot receiver out there when you need to run the ball. Yeah, and yeah, you can do that, and you can move Pat Fryermuth to like a big slot, bringing Darnell in, double tight end sets, one just playing the big slot role, even 3 tight end sets with Connor Hayward as the H back, that wing. You could definitely do that. Also, you could do some different things, but you don't want to give your hand away that you're going to run the football either all the time, by just, hey, every time he's in, that's the only time they run. They're not going to run when Calvin's in there. You definitely have to mix it up, but it's not a bad idea, though, D, to make sure that you have that big body out there and Pat Fryermuth. But Pat's problem is going to be his ability to stay healthy and still be able to be physical enough to play inside of this Arthur Smith offense and to be able to be successful. That's going to be a big thing. So, yeah, we'll see how Pat does, but it's definitely good to have a big dude out there in the slot, especially when you're down and dirty inside of the 20. I think coming out in those monster packages and having the versatility to be able to throw the football out of those formations, out of those jumbo heavy sets, is going to prove to really pay big dividends for the Pittsburgh Steelers moving forward through 2024, especially late in the year when teams are, getting ground down a little bit, and you're wearing on defenses late in the game, and you're looking at, a 3rd and 4 situation inside of your 20, maybe at the 16, 15-yard line. You can still come out in that big monster set and show run all day, but still be able to throw the football, and that is going to be something special. I think that this team is going to have that many other teams won't. So I think that could be good. Exactly, D. They were talking back and forth. Tomlin is a horrible postseason coach. That's from 2 Girls, 1 Stanley Cup. Yeah, his record shows that he is, and I can't argue it. I can't give any rah-rah speech that would determine anything else. Mark Malone, what's up? A horrible coach, period. Mark Malone ain't on board with Tomlin there, man. Tomlin has many deficiencies, guys, and I will say that, and I will never shy away from pointing them out. I think he is bad situationally. I think he makes critical errors in that sense. I think Mike Tomlin makes critical errors on roster management at times, especially at the quarterback position over the last several years, especially after the departure of Ben Roethlisberger. Even during Ben's injury, he wasn't able to really be comfortable with Mason or Duck or anyone, to where it was a carousel. And I know there were injuries incorporated into that also with a Mason Rudolph, things of that nature. But since the departure of Ben Roethlisberger, Mike Tomlin has been slow to pull the trigger sometimes on getting somebody up out of there when they're performing badly, which does what, guys? Digs a very big hole that has been difficult to overcome late in the season, requiring your football team to need what? Help getting in the postseason. And you don't want to be scoreboard watching week 18 of the NFL regular season. You just don't want to be there. You don't want to be doing that. Calvin Austin reminds me of Brennan Presley and Josh Stewart, tiny but top 10 all-time in yards receiving at OK State. Yeah, guys, there are some little guys that succeed, and D points out a couple of them that really succeeded, especially at the college level. But you look at Calvin Austin, and I think there's heavy potential there. The guy's a speedster, man, a speedster. And he showed you last year in that playoff game in Buffalo that he ain't afraid to come underneath and catch a ball and put it in the end zone for 6. He's not afraid to do that. Everett Kirkland, Trent Williams from San Francisco wants to change his contract. San Francisco got problems, so doors will open for us. Yeah, they have a lot of big contracts on the book, guys, on the books, and you hear that they have offered Brandon Ayuk $26 million. I'm not sure of the time, the guaranteed money or the structure completely of that deal and what they offered him. But Brandon Ayuk, according to many, is looking for around $30 million. So they are not far off from a deal. But if you're the San Francisco 49ers, you got to watch how many big monster contracts you put out there before you find yourself in cap hell, But they were taking advantage of a guy like Brock Purdy being on basically no money type deal. So, that's what they're taking advantage of. And you look at the San Francisco 49ers and you look at other teams that have, got good with young talent, got good with low quarterback salaries. And when they start paying everybody, you got to be careful because you find yourself in a cap hell and it's hard to get out of it sometimes. But, good GMs know how to navigate that. Two girls, one Stanley Cup. If Tomlin couldn't win with Killer Bees, how is he going to win with Russell Wilson at quarterback? Well, I mean, different time, different league, different everything. And the Killer Bees, guys, let's face it, there were some attitudes there. There were some things that, maybe slowed that team down from reaching its true potential. I don't think it was all Mike Tomlin. I think that there was some things there at play outside of Mike Tomlin that maybe held that team back a little bit. But you are right. Mike Tomlin did have his role in that team maybe not reaching its full potential. But what ifs are what ifs, and it's hard to play in that world too. So, yeah, guys, I see what you're saying, though. Definitely. I'm not arguing that it's not a strong point. So, definitely something to look at. D says up there with Dez Bryant and Justin Blackmon. Man, guys, Dez Bryant at OK State was an absolute phenom, dude. I mean, come on. And Justin Blackmon was something special, in my opinion. Whatever happened to Blackmon? Mark Malone, I don't know, man. Tomlin flushed away 15 years of a Hall of Fame quarterback's career. He had his part in it, Mark. I can't deny that. He definitely had his part in it. Would I say he flushed it totally down? No. Ben holds some accountability for that too. And, a little back half, that injury part, that hurt Ben. And that hurt, Ben before the actual injury that we all saw happen. You heard Ben Roethlisberger talking about how his arm would ache and be super sore, and he would ignore it, and he would just shake it off, and be tough, and that's cool. But I do think it slowed him down in that last 5 years, like especially a couple years before the actual full-scale, full-blown tear. I think that there were some issues there, and Ben admitted that himself. So that could have possibly happened too. But yeah, Tomlin definitely had a role. Beer Malls. The problem with Tomlin is end of the season. Instead of fighting for a bye week or a higher seed or a home wild card game, he's fighting for a basic winning season. Yeah, and that got to be done. We can't do that. And I said that, guys. 2024 and the way the Pittsburgh Steelers start and how they come out is going to be ultra imperative to what this Pittsburgh Steelers team is going to be able to do moving forward. And I'm talking like long term even. It is imperative for the Pittsburgh Steelers to come out here and take advantage of the front half of this season and really get on a roll. Because yes, it's going to be difficult in the back half, but I like the Steelers against divisional opponents. So I'm not deathly afraid of the back half of the season. But I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, with the changes they've made and the way that they have started to construct this roster, and the way Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin, Andy Weidel are really behind this ball club, I think it's very important that they get off on the right foot here. And if they don't and they stumble, I think it could be a long, long year for the Pittsburgh Steelers if they do. Craig Worlow, the year I get really mad about is 2017 when he lost to the Jags at home. I still get pissed when thinking about it. That game too, Craig. Oh my lord. Oh, sorry guys. I have a horrible chair that I got today, which I will not select tomorrow. But that chair or that that chair, that game that you were talking about, that playoff game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, where we were beaten by Blake Bortles and company, was an absolute travesty. It was an absolute failure on Coach Tomlin's part, an absolute failure on that coaching staff, that defense. It was bad, 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 bad. It was horrible. And yes, that was one that should have never happened, man. Should have never happened, Craig. Two girls, one Stanley Cup. Sorry, guys. Let me. Two girls, one Stanley Cup. 2017 was crazy. Then we fired Todd Haley, and our offense sucked after that. I think Todd Haley should have been able to stay another year. I definitely do. I think that he was on the right track with that offense. D. Tomlin equals Mike Gundy. You're going to be better than the average team, but unless you get really lucky, championships are out of reach. Yeah, he's got to step his game up. There's no doubt about it. You look at this 3-year extension and you look at what the Pittsburgh Steelers are saying here with this. We trust Mike. We think that he can win. We think that he can get to the big one. And they seem to think, and maybe we are all blinded to it, I don't know, but they seem to think as an organization that there are other factors at play, and it wasn't just Mike Tomlin, or it wasn't the majority Mike Tomlin, of why this Pittsburgh Steelers teams over the last decade or so haven't been able to succeed and compete for championships. And they may think other else or other ways than what we are thinking, guys. Sorry about that. Definitely Haley was carrying those teams. Big Stretch, what's up? What's up, Jason? Glad you guys are in your new digs. What's up, Mike? Drop Mafia. What's up, man? Glad to see you, Big Stretch. Everett Kirkland. Nick Herbig looks like NFL edge rusher. I think Nick Herbig's going to be good, dude. I've been saying that since he was drafted, since I turned on that tape from Wisconsin. I really like the way he plays, and I like with limited opportunities, he always makes the most of it. And you got to really like a player of that nature, a guy that no matter what the situation, no, he's not going to sit there and feel bad for himself because he isn't getting 30 snaps a game. What is he going to do? He's putting his hard hat on, he's coming to work, and he's going to make the most of what opportunities are in front of him. And that has to be something that really excites Steeler Nation. Two girls. Tomlin is a mediocre coach at best. If he wasn't black, he would have been fired years ago. But unfortunately, the Rooneys shot themselves in the foot, creating the Rooney Rule. I'll disagree with that, man. Nah, I don't think so. I think that that's not right. I don't agree. I think Mike Tomlin's been successful enough to keep his job. You've seen Cower. You've seen Chuck Noll all go through spells, too, where they didn't win a bunch of games, especially Chuck Noll with the back half of his career there. So, hey, the Steelers are loyal. And I get the whole Rooney Rule, whatever. I just don't think that was the case of why he's still here. Cutthroat. KC has the number 1 GM, the number 1 head coach, offensive coordinator, and the number 3 DC, and the number 1 quarterback, taking less money. That makes it hard for the 31 other teams. Can't argue that, man. Can't argue that. What's up, Cooper? What's up, TD? With those emojis, I love it. Go Bengals. Come on, Coop. Cutthroat says Spags was offered a big money to leave KC, and he stayed. They're the only team all in. They've been all in for a while, and they understand the assignment, Cutthroat. They know what it exactly takes to win a championship, and they have a core group in place in order to get to that level, that championship level. And the guys in that building understand what being a champion means. And that's where I keep going back, guys. Once you get a taste of being a champion and you understand what it takes to get to the mountaintop and you understand what the benefits are after you've achieved that championship, I think your thought process starts to differ in many ways. And I think you really start to figure out things in a different light. You start to realize where you're going to make money up, where you can cut corners in terms of your contract, how you can maybe restructure your contract to help others to gain that last key piece you need to be a quality team the next season. you start to also not be as selfish. There's a lot of selfish people, a lot of selfish players, a lot of selfish people in this world, but a lot of selfish pro athletes that look for them and look out for them, which is okay. That's their job. They're allowed to do that. But the organizations that are able to get guys to see past the selfishness, that are able to get players to buy into a system, buy into a family, buy into a team type atmosphere, they win. And those guys understand that you have to sacrifice to gain, and that's what it is. You always hear the saying, spend money to make money. It's kind of the same thing. You have to sacrifice some things to be successful, especially in professional sports and sports as a whole. And if you're not willing to sacrifice and you're not willing to give up things in order to make people around you better, you are going to be stuck on those teams that all you're doing is getting money. That's it. Can you say Alpha Kenny won? No. Steelers are content with not having a losing season. I sure hope not. I don't think they are. We'll see. Go 49ers. Oh, no. Steelers arguably don't have a number one. That's which one? Number one quarterback or number one wide receiver? You might be able to say both. Beer Malls. 2 girls, 1 Stanley Cup. Oh, he's talking to her. Okay. John Cutthroat. 49ers built the ultimate team to only lose when Kansas City was the weakest. Kansas City reloaded their offense. They aren't averaging 22 points this year. I look for them to be very dangerous, and I look for that Christmas Day showdown between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Has a real potential to be a monster matchup with so much meaning. It really, really does, guys. And I hope to, for all of our sake, that it does happen, because I think it'd be really, really cool. But the only thing is here, I don't like football games on Christmas. I don't like things around religious holidays. I don't know. I just think it should be spent with family and stuff. I'll watch, but I still feel like it should be maybe caught another time. Braun Blackwater caught the live again. What's up, Braun? Glad to see you, buddy. Beer Mall says mediocrity. Eddie Spaghetti, what's up? Ignoring anything off the field from a pure football perspective, Cam Sutton signing fills one of the last 2 holes, in my opinion. Only remaining hole now, wide receiver 2. I definitely think Cam Sutton was a excellent football move, and I know I've been clapped back by people saying, well, look at his statistics last year, and I said that also. Yeah, look at them, but he was playing out of position. The Detroit Lions were requiring him to do things that Cam just doesn't do. So that definitely played a role. And it was a new team, a new system, a new environment. And evidently he had some issues going on personally too. That just didn't spill over him one time, whenever he had these legal issues. This has been building, and you can tell. You can tell by the way Cam played, and you can tell by what transpired there at the end of the season. Ant Mitchell, do you think we might have a better season than the Cowboys? I definitely think so, Amp. Welcome back to the live stream, my friend. Beer Malls, hope is dangerous thing. Yes, no doubt. All right, guys, we've been on for almost an hour. I'm trying to get through all the comments. I absolutely don't even know how far behind I am, so we'll see. It looks like I'm pretty far behind. Not too crazy. No, I'm pretty far behind. I'm trying, guys. But anyway, make sure you're hitting that like button for us. Let's get them likes up here before we start wrapping up the show. I'm not going to be able to get to all the comments. It's definitely been crazy on my voice the first night back after 3 days off here. I'm going to go do some more work. Hopefully be able to set up this studio a little bit or figure out what I'm going to do. I've got my last load of things. I've almost cleared out 2 of my 6 storage units, so that's awesome. This house has tons of storage, which is really, really cool. I think that was something awesome that they did in this house when they built it. But man, it got some good storage, so I'm going to be able to eliminate that shit. Also, yeah, this house is about 14 years old. But man, I gotta say, it was the main reason I wanted to buy it. It's solid as hell, dude. And the people that owned it, again, they were really good people that owned it, that we bought it from, were really good people that took real good care of it. So if you're looking for real estate, guys, make sure you do that. Make sure you look for houses that are well maintained, that are really sound structurally. Those are what you want to look at, man. It's not always the best to go out there and build a brand new house, because I know some people right now that are building brand new houses that have had issues. So yeah, check that out. Make sure you kind of figure it out that way. All right, guys, I'm going to start wrapping up here. So again, we'll be back for tomorrow's daily upload. Sorry I didn't get to the rest of the comments, guys, but I appreciate you. I bust my ass trying to read every single comment. I know that's not a normal thing here on YouTube. Maybe we'll have to change it one day. But I do bust my ass trying to do that for you guys. I just fell a little bit behind today because we were talking. But again, Mike Tomlin extended for 3 years into the 2027 season. You've had the signing of a Cameron Sutton, which has been controversial. The Pittsburgh Steelers still in look of filling that possibility of that wide receiver 2 role. A lot of things going to happen as the Pittsburgh Steelers kick off mandatory mini camps tomorrow on the south side of Pittsburgh. I continue to really be excited about this football team, and I hope you are also. But we will be back with our daily upload tomorrow. I think the show in the morning will be about what you should be looking for here in these mandatory sessions, and what you should be expecting out of them, and what this team can do in order to keep improving. I think that that's probably where we'll be, unless we talk a little bit more about the Mike Tomlin extension also. Maybe we'll mix it all up. So you never know. But anyway, until tomorrow morning, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports and our daily live stream, Steel City Live. So peace, guys. Thank you for stopping